It's that time of year already. We're busy running to stores and online shops looking for the perfect gifts for our loved ones this holiday season. But what's the best way to do it mindfully? That's where some research from the U of I Gies College of Business and Seal Otnes comes in. So she's the co-author of a recent study on mindful gifting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this study, it explores how gifting habits can really reshape values. Expand a little bit on that for me.
So in the marketing discipline right now, there's a whole lot of interest in topics around ethics, well-being, and care. But interestingly, this had not really been studied in the area of gift giving, which, by the way, by 2027 will be a $43.3 billion industry, if you will, globally. So it's a huge amount of money, as you know, a huge amount of effort that goes in. But do we really understand what it means to be mindful when we gift? So that's what we were interested in studying in this project.
So what does it mean to be mindful when people are shopping and gifting?
Well, we define it as thinking about the outcomes for self, society, and the environment. And when I was first approached about this topic from different sources, someone said, does that mean I have to buy everything that's recyclable? And that's not what it means. It means also just thinking about your own, how does it impact your own well-being and the well-being of others in your community, as well as the people in your social network. So, for example, therefore mindfulness is not just about ecological mindfulness. It's about financial mindfulness, emotional mindfulness, relational mindfulness, and it simply means don't get caught up in this huge frenzy about what's the latest thing on Amazon that we have to buy to make our kid happy or whatever. It means think about, is this going to be in the garage sale next year? Is this a gift that will actually be long lasting? Does it further any goals that we might have, for example, supporting our businesses in the community rather than getting packages on our porch every day, kind of thing.
There's also an element of generosity,
yes.
It sounds like, in this as well.
Yes, well, that's also something I think that's really kind of on the sort of social forefront right now. And if you think about our own community, which I think of as a very generous community, we have lost a lot of businesses that supported many of us during COVID, for example, emotionally, and just the fact that we are able to use whatever resources we're devoting towards gift giving to support these local businesses, I think is something worth thinking about. And I think it's also a great example for younger people in our lives. Right?
And I think too, sometimes people feel that pressure to get extravagant gifts, or
yes.
this person already has everything.
Yes.
What does your research really reveal about that difference there in extravagance?
So extravagant gifts can be dicey because let's say you give something that's very extravagant, the recipient might say, what does this person want from me? Or how am I ever going to pay this back? This gratitude can be sort of a burden. But I like to think about extravagant gifts as lavishing attention rather than material resources. So a quick story, I had an MBA student once say, my wife hates everything I give her, and we kind of probed him in the class. Turned out everything he gave kind of had to do with him and not her. And I said, why don't you lavish some attention on her? And that's very mindful. That's a mindful approach, right? It's not mindful to say, well, I like the Dallas Cowboys, so everybody's getting something about the Dallas Cowboys. Right. So he got her a massage gift certificate, and he said she cried with happiness and said, finally, something for me. So that is extravagant in the recipient's eyes, that you're actually attention can be very extravagant.
And then I feel like people can use these tips and then use it for birthdays and other celebrations really throughout the year.
It's not just, well, that's, of course, we have many, many gift-giving occasions in America, not as many as in Japan, but we have plenty. And many of these principles apply. The thing about gift giving, of course, in the holiday season is that there are multiple givers and there's different types of people you're giving to that you may not have negotiated norms with, and that's really key to mindful giving, making sure everybody understands what norms they're going to follow and then sticking with them. So if you say, I'm giving you $50, like a $50 gift, don't buy me a $200 gift, kind of thing.
Yeah, so even it out, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, hopefully people can use some of these tips and apply it as they're hitting the stores this Friday and into December.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We will have all of these tips linked over on our website, WCIA.com.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.